Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to address the 2022 International Conference of Women in Finance, which is the 8th annual conference hosted by Korean Women in Finance. First, I would like to thank Ms. Sang-Yoon Kim, chairperson of the Korean Network of Women in Finance, for your hospitality and for organizing the event today. Thank you. The theme of this year's conference, How Gender Impacts ESG, is a very timely topic, with sustainable investing becoming increasingly important in Asia and the rest of the world. I'm here representing Franklin Templeton, one of the world's largest asset managers. Our firm's commitment to diversity and inclusion is part of our growth story. Evolving all aspects of our firm's diversity makes our company a better place to work and a more resilient business. At Franklin Templeton, we recognize and embrace the diversity of our people. Our global workforce gives us a broader perspective. The variety of experience, viewpoints of our employees helps support innovation and better decision-making. From our CEO to our newest employee, we all have a responsibility to cultivate an inclusive environment. We foster a culture that encourages our employees to bring their authentic self to work because we believe our people's well-being is key to our success. We launched 3 regional diversity and inclusion executive councils in early 2022 to make our global D&I strategies relevant within the cultural context of each region. They represent the Americas, Asia Pacific, and EMEA. To truly achieve diversity, we believe it is critical to have local representation who can reflect on and understand the unique needs of their region and location. Our regional council members will be the feet on the ground to challenge traditional ideas around diversity and to ensure that our D&I practices are culturally relevant. To enhance our commitment to D&I, we partner with leading organizations to foster a more inclusive investment industry. These include the CEO Action for Diversity and Inclusion and the Women in Finance Charter. We also partner with internship programs, such as Girls Who Invest, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to increasing the number of women in the asset management industry, and Rock the Street, Wall Street, a financial education program designed to spark the interest of high school girls into careers of finance. Franklin Templeton is an active voice in trying to improve diversity across the industry, including joining the CFA Institute's Diversity and Inclusion Experimental Partners Program, where over 40 participating firms are responding to the challenge to make the investment industry more inclusive. D&I is a crucial component of the social pillar of ESG, and we believe that a strong focus on gender equality and D&I is fundamental to navigating the dynamic landscape in our industry. Our clients are increasingly taking stance on D&I and social issues, and they are seeking partners as well as investment vehicles that share the same value. Similarly, investors are increasingly incorporating assessment of a company's gender diversity and equality to determine how they might respond to ESG risks and opportunities. As a result, companies are facing external pressures from institutional investors, active shareholders, and potential employees and customers to increase the representation of women on corporate boards, in C-suite positions, and across executive leadership as well as equal compensation and mobility for women. Before we dive deeper into the topic, I just want to highlight that the business case for D&I is compelling. advancing gender equality and board gender diversity is not just an ethical decision, it is also a business imperative for better firm performance, decision-making, and client success. A study by IFC demonstrated that gender-diverse board and the leadership team is positively connected to stronger ESG performance, which in turn leads to improved company performance. The study found that having more women in business leadership positions leads to higher ESG standards, and this connection is particularly evident when women comprise a critical mass of about 30% on company boards. Furthermore, the IFC study found that companies with enhanced ESG perform better on critical metrics, such as stronger internal controls and management oversight, reduced risks of fraud or other ethical violations, and it also creates positive workplace environment, greater stakeholder engagement, and improved reputation and brand. As mentioned earlier, advancing board gender diversity is not just the right moral decision, it is also financially prudent. There is a growing body of research which shows that increasing gender diversity results in better financial outcomes. A study by MSCI found that US companies with at least 3 women on the board of directors experienced a median gain in return on equity of 10 percentage points and earnings per share of 37%. In contrast, companies that had no female directors experienced median change of negative 1% in return on equity and a negative 8% in earnings per share over the same study period. Apart from financial performance, a study by IFC also highlighted that increasing the number of women in business leadership is likely to lead to overall company performance through improved non-financial indicators such as reputation, investor perceptions, and stakeholders' engagement, which in turn enhance the long-term viability of the company. Franklin Templeton is a signatory to the UN Principles for Responsible Investment, and policy advocacy is a key pillar of our holistic approach to stewardship. We believe that engaged, active owners, partnering with policymakers, regulators, and stock exchanges can improve corporate governance and help foster positive outcomes. For example, our Franklin Templeton Emerging Market Equity team provided feedback to policymakers in Singapore, suggesting that board diversity, and particularly gender diversity, can lead to better run business, and we advocated for greater disclosure on diversity to investors. Our CEO, Jenny Johnson, personally champions D&I and is involved in several organizations that prioritize D&I. Such organizations such as the New York Stock Exchange Board Advisor Council, which identifies and connects diverse board candidates to New York Stock Exchange listed companies who are seeking new directors. Another organization that she's involved with is Catalyst, a global nonprofit dedicated to accelerating progress for women through workplace inclusion. It is crucial to bear in mind that delivering effective D&I practice and ESG measures is more than a box-ticking exercise. The change needs to begin with a shift of mindset at the very top of the organizations, alongside the commitment to empower diversity perspectives at every level. Financial institutions that are successful in D&I initiatives will be better able to communicate their commitment and to increase employee engagement, manage associated risks, and ensure their efforts are achieving their goals. It is also imperative to ensure that any D&I plan is anchored by clear reporting metrics and sustainable metrics, realistic and impactful targets. As we say that you cannot achieve what you cannot measure. Taking a data-driven approach will help ensure accountability and transparency in the firm's D&I progress. At Franklin Templeton, we increase the transparency of D&I data, which includes public disclosure of data report for the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, participation in Bloomberg's Gender Equality Index, and voluntarily submission to the House Service Financial Committee Institutional Investors D&I Self-Assessment Database. We also instituted a diverse candidate slate requirement for new hires at director level and above. Inclusive behaviors are integrated into the firm's values and competency model. All employees have a diversity and inclusion goal in their performance plans. In addition, we believe that forging partnership can also play an important role in driving positive change and amplifying D&I efforts in the financial service industry. For instance, Franklin Templeton joined the Corporate Call to Action Coalition for Equity and Opportunity in 2020, which convenes a coalition of CEOs to work toward improving diversity and equality within their companies. We also work with our coalition partners to develop implementation plans for individual and collective actions to promote industry-wide change. The good news is that we have seen encouraging progress in board gender diversity in Korea amid the rising importance of ESG considerations and corporate governance reforms, such as the recent Capital Markets Act revision, which prohibits listed companies with over 2 trillion won in total capital from having all of its board members composed of men. Nevertheless, there is still room for improvement to advance gender diversity in Korea, especially to increase female representation in senior leadership positions in the financial industry. An article recently written by Ignite Asia reported that while female staff makes up nearly half of the number of employees in Korea's finance industry, female executives account for only 7% of management in the country's financial institutions. On this note, I'm proud to report to you that our wonderful CEO of Franklin Templeton Korea business, Ms. Tae Kim, is a female, highly accomplished female executive. Apart from policy-led changes to improve gender diversity, financial institutions in Korea can also do more to ensure that they have the right policies and programs in place to attract, advance, mentor, and retain female talents throughout the organization, to help more women progress to senior executive roles, as well as adopting inclusive hiring practice. Increasing gender diversity in the C-suite is also critical to deepening the pipeline of women for board member positions. Ultimately, implementing more D&I policies will play an integral role in consciously eliminating bias in the workplace and foster an inclusive and supportive work culture in Korea. Franklin Templeton has a deep commitment to increasing diversity in asset management, and we want to be at the forefront of driving positive change in our industry. We firmly believe that the inclusion of colleagues with diverse backgrounds, perspectives, and identities leads to better decision-making and problem-solving across our business. We recognize that our ability to attract, develop, and retain a diverse and highly skilled workforce is critical to being an employer of choice for all the top talent. As a firm, we realize the benefits of diversity through an intentional focus on inclusion, by seeking to have inclusive leaders and behaviors, talent and investment and business processes. Early in 2020, we hired our firm's first Chief Diversity Officer, Regina Curry, and her appointment has been instrumental in elevating our existing D&I focus and driving our work in this important area with support from our Board of Directors, Executive Committee, and Human Resources. D&I strategies and actions accelerate sustainable and inclusive growth from the innovations that they foster, preparing companies to thrive and survive. As our investment industry progresses and prepares for shifts in global populations and the transition of generational wealth, advancing gender parity can help identify untapped opportunities, improve business outcomes, cultivate innovation, and reduce risk. To conclude, the business case for D&I is compelling, and the time for action is now. Thank you.